Okay, this is going to be a quick setup, just sort of a tutorial video on the Vive Precision Compact blood pressure monitor. We have the cuff plugged in already here on the left side of the monitor. On the right, you'll see a little power port. Power cord isn't included, those are sold separately. With all of our blood pressure cuffs, the cuff always is attached on the left side. So if you're trying to plug it in on the right side, whether it's with the compact device or the full size, it's not going to function properly. We have the cuff here. The cuff's got a pretty wide adjustment range from 8.7 inch arm circumference all the way up to 16 inch. With the fitting instructions actually here just on the other side. Like it shows, just make sure that the cuff is up over the elbow with enough room to get a couple fingers underneath, and the connection hose in line with the inside center of your arm. Let's take a look at the monitor here. I've got it off. When you're first going to use it, you're going to want to set it up, which means when the device is powered off, you're going to press and hold the set button here for just 1-2 seconds, and you'll see the date start to flash there. Now with the memory button, you can adjust that value either by clicking or by holding and letting it scroll. It'll scroll all the way up to 2050 and then back around to 2018 and 19. When you land on the setting that you need, just hit set. From there, it's going to ask you about the month to which we have input correctly. So we're just going to hit set again, and then the day. You'll be able to tell each interval that needs to be changed because the value will be flashing. Set. So the hour's correct. It's 11. It's actually 11:20. We're going to set that. Next, you're going to see a 12 or a 24. That's just adjusting whether or not you want to see this by standard or military time. Most people are familiar with the 12-hour clock, so we're going to hit set. It should automatically default to an mmHg setting. That's going to be the standard blood pressure monitoring range for North America. Some European devices will use kPa as well, so that option is in there just by scrolling back and forth with the memory button. But we're going to leave it on mmHg. We're going to hit set. It's going to go back to the date where we already had it. We don't need to adjust that anymore. So we're just going to hit start stop. Device is now set up. So the next thing we would need to do is put the cuff on and take a measurement. Now that we've taken a measurement, we've got some settings input here already. So with the device off, we're going to pull up the memory function. You're going to press and hold the memory button and then let go. What it's going to show us here is the average pulse rate, the average systolic and diastolic. You're going to see average printed here, the little icon as well, so that's going to tell us. If you were to hit the memory button, it's going to start scrolling through. See M01, that's the first memory input, M2, and then back to the average. Just kind of a breakdown as to what the measurements look like. Obviously, you have your systolic and your diastolic here, your pulse rate. Some customers will have a question here. This little icon next to this colored bar on the frame of the monitor screen, it's just an indication of hypertension. So if you're down in the green or in the yellow, your pulse and your blood pressure isn't reading as hypertensive. But once you get up into the red, it is. Just kind of a quick little indicator there. There will also be an icon that will show up over here if needed. It's a series of overlapping hearts. That means that measurement detected an irregular heart rate. It'll show up both in the memory functions and when you're taking a measurement, live and in person. So from here, you can actually scroll backwards with the set button, forwards with the memory button. So we'll turn that off. Now, if you wanted to clear the memory, we will go over that. So there's the memory again. Press and hold. Okay, so we press and hold set until the delete, no, and yes option appears. Then you hit the set button again to scroll between no and yes. And then just to select that, you would turn the device, you would hit the start stop button. If you were to, let's just demonstrate here again. Select yes, and you hit start stop. Now, all of the previous memory inserts that we had are gone. So you'd be able to take new measurements again and start kind of a new average. That's really all there is to it.